Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89, Trek Boy 89. I don't know if I did a video about this, but while I'm on a roll, um, God, the whole Kurtzman thing just keeps rolling on. The rumor now is that he's been told, you have to do Legacy. If you give us Legacy, you can keep your contract and you can keep making Star Trek. So if you basically make Star Trek again and make the Star Trek we want and the fans want, you can keep making Star Trek. But you're not going to continue on just making your version of Star Trek and having free reign, which is what he's had up to this point. He basically, if he could get funding for it, he could make it. There's no one who could stop him. There was no one who had to veto, no one who could veto, or no one who had to approve anything. He could just make whatever he wanted. And that's what he's been doing. And his approach has just been, I don't know what Star Trek is. I don't know how Star Trek works. I think Star Trek, what Star Trek was, died, and it can't exist because I can't envision what Gene did, and I can't believe in that, and that doesn't inspire me. So I don't understand the people who do love that vision and are inspired by that and want to sort of live in that sort of universe and sort of maintain that, universe with, merchandising and, rewatching episodes and stuff. I don't get any of that. So I'm just going to I'm just going to look at the whole audience and just look at each market, each group, and just make a Star Trek show for each one. We'll do one for kids, we'll do a comedy one, we'll do a reality one, we'll do a sitcom, we'll do, a teen show with Starfleet Academy, we'll do a knockoff / continuation / prequel of the original series, which is Strange New Worlds. We'll do like a next gen era one. I mean, it's just, mind you, they're not really doing that. But that was sort of what Picard was going to be. But then it turned into Picard and it was limited to 3 years. And then they set up Legacy, but then Kurtzman apparently was so jealous that I forgot the other guy's name. He did such a good job of it. And it's like, no, that's Terry Matalas' Star Trek. I resent people liking that more than mine because I've been trying for years, had no success, spent hundreds of millions of dollars. This guy basically splits one season's budget into 2 seasons that they filmed at the same time with a cheap time travel story set in LA to leave enough room to do the Picard season, which is how they got it made. And that's the insane thing. All this money from all the streaming wars to make these new Star Trek shows, to make Star Trek content with no thought to actual success and money and profit, but just let's just make Star Trek content, just money tree, just throwing money at people for years. And then the one thing we wanted, which was a continuation of the last Star Trek we left off at, like 20 years later after Nemesis, that's what we wanted. In order to get that, they had to basically split a season, do a cost-saving season so they could afford to do the Picard season. And it's really basic. It's really simple. They reuse the same sets. I don't want to say it suffered, but if they'd had a couple of $100 million to spend on it, like on its own, it could have been a lot more interesting and had a lot more in it. But yeah, it's just a tragedy. All the money's been spent. All the other Star Treks no one wanted, and then the Star Trek we do want, we get like the budget version, one season, and then they set up another series, and Kurtzman just apparently refuses to do it. It's like, no, even though that's what you want, the fans want, the studio wants, no, we're going to do what we want, which is just trying to engage the general audience, the general science fiction audience, in any way by doing just so many different types of shows that only have Star Trek in the title, and that's it. That's, just throw it at the wall, see if it sticks. Just try and cater to all the communities instead of just focusing on the Star Trek community and fans, giving them what they want and trying to drawing new people, partly from the word of mouth from us loving it so much, like Star Trek's always done. They're like, no, we need to change it to attract new people because the old people, there just aren't enough because, they just think there's only the original fans and they're all dying off because they're in their 80s. Like, no, the bulk is next generation fans who just want more of that world, which was the real sort of encapsulation of Gene Roddenberry's vision the first couple of years of Next Generation before they turned it into a drama in space. So I'm a bit tired of all this. It's like, just get rid of him, bring someone new, and you can ask a new person to create Star Trek to do Legacy, like not exactly Legacy because Kurtzman owns it, but a version of that, because they can do a contemporary, a 25th century Next Generation era show, post Next Generation, post Voyager, post Nemesis, all that. They can do that. They just can't use the original characters that he created for Picard, but they can still use Seven of Nine and some of the other characters. So, yeah, that's what they're proposing to do. But those people don't want to come back about Terra Metalis. So it's a huge mess. But apparently they've told Kurtzman, do Legacy, basically to create the Star Trek we want, fans want, and you can keep your contract. But I don't think Kurtzman's going to do it because he's just too insecure and too much of an ego. It's like, no, this is my vision of Star Trek. If I can't maintain that, hopefully he'll just take that ball and go home. But it's unclear. But I had to talk about that for a minute. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this ultimatum to Kurtzman. Did it happen? And is it going to make a difference? Is it going to mean he leaves? Or he actually does what we finally want and gives us Star Trek? Is that possible?